I have been playing disc golf for about 10 years, and pretty much that entire time, I've thrown my forehand pretty much the exact same way. And yet, I'm changing it. And I think that it's the right call, and I want to talk about it. So let's do that. Goodness grief. I feel like I'm trying to learn to walk with a third leg. So I had this thought like 2 days ago, and I threw a forehand like this for the first time yesterday. So I reserve the right to change my mind, but I don't think that I will, because I think that it makes sense. I am curious if you can even tell before I tell you what I did to change my form, but it feels so completely different. For reference, this is my old form. It's actually a really good example of why. And this is the new form. I cannot, my brain breaks when I put a disc in my hand. It's still a work in progress. Long story short, if you couldn't tell just by watching, I've removed the X step from my forehand in the footwork aspect of it, which I know is not like a super common thing to have in a forehand in the first place. And now I think that there's 3 main reasons why it needs to go out of my game and why it's going to help me get better. I think that's in. I was wrong. The first reason, which is hilariously not a reason at all right now, but it will be the biggest reason, is that I think that it's more consistent to remove that from my footwork. And right now, I just cannot comprehend how to do it. Right, left, right, left. It will be more consistent. Let's just try right, left, right. No, left, right, left. That's under the basket. That's crazy. There are a ton of variables in a disc golf throw, and I'm trying to cut out as many of those as possible. And I was X-stepping from like anytime I wasn't standstill, so essentially 240-ish and out, I'm X-stepping everything. And a lot of times it was even like a baby X-step. As you can see, it's very ingrained in my muscle memory. But I also noticed that if I'm stepping over roots or uphill or downhill, it's just trickier to X-step instead of just walking forward. So I'm trying to get rid of it for that reason. There's also other posture things, but we're gonna throw a shot or 2 more before we get into too much of that. I was also worried that it was gonna cost me pop, but
it's not costing you much there.
I don't think it's costing me much. And actually, if anything, I think in terms of pop, it probably gives me some. Man. Okay, I should just put one of them. Didn't love that. The throw was great, but it felt weird. Loved that one even less. I mean, it's going a long way. It doesn't feel amazing yet. Man, that goes a long way. The fact that it's like looking good results-wise while feeling bad, I think it's a good sign. But power wasn't the reason that I made this change. Hopefully it's more for stuff like this, which comes up a lot more than a 380-foot forehand. That's hilarious and very fitting. It's a work in progress. That felt so easy. I feel like I could do that like 10 times in a row. I just have to think about throwing instead of my feet. Yeah, man, there's something there, folks. Well, I'm just thinking so much about my feet that by the time I get to my throw, there's no brain capacity left there. But whenever, like the second and third one, I was actually thinking about where I was throwing, and I feel like it sets my body up in just a way better position. Break, please. Get up, please. But obviously, I recognize it's not always going to take 100% of my mental capacity to think to put my right foot in front of my left leg instead of behind it. But I've been doing it for 10 years. So right now that is dominating a lot of my thoughts, as silly as it seems. But I do feel much more direct, inline, controlled with my target. And for everything like 350 in, and honestly, after throwing it a couple more times, even today, maybe 350 out too, I feel much more in control of where the disc is actually going. And like I've mentioned once or twice before, it has surprised me at the amount of just natural elasticity that comes in whenever I let my body whip through instead of setting my body sideways and trying to push a whip instead of just letting a whip. So I'm really pleased at how low effort shots like this feel. It's like 230 feet while being able to just aim. Right, left, no. Left, right, left for short shots. I mean, it feels like I threw that like 5% power. It felt like nothing at all. It's only 230 feet, but that feels real nice. And the third reason why I want to make this change is a tertiary reason, but it is a reason. And I think it's funny right now in particular because I know I probably look like a newborn deer trying to learn how to walk. That's close. But I think that it just looks better. And again, that's a tertiary reason. But I mean, let's be real, I'm making YouTube videos. I might as well try to make myself look somewhat presentable in doing so. And the main reason that I wanted to talk to y'all about this is because it is a change to my form, and I'm taking you on my journey in 2026 for the whole star frame thing. If you haven't checked that out right here, it's been a blast and it's going to continue to be a blast. And I wanted to let y'all in, you know, behind the curtains a little bit on some of that going on. Right, left, right, left. Gosh dang it.
You feel so self-conscious about that.
I'm talking about how I'm trying to be more consistent with my footwork and I'm literally tripping over my feet. I will figure it out. Right, left, right, left. It will come. It will come. And on the note of getting there, like I said, yesterday was literally the first time I had ever thrown a shot like this. And last night I brought it out for the first time at our local mini, and a couple guys mentioned, which I appreciate, genuinely do, that I already have a really good forehand. But I do believe that good is the enemy of great. And also, I just want to be as good as I can be. And I think that this is a little thing that's been holding me back, and I'm excited about changing it, working on it, and being better. I have like a weird number of really long, this is not putting. I've got a weird number of like really long makes on this hole. I might as well throw a forehand, spirit of the day. Imagine. Also, I know that shuffling, sexton hopping, etc. is a thing, but similarly, I just think that that's technically some percentage less consistent than just walking forward and throwing the disc. So, I'm trying to walk. I might be the GOAT of all time by the end of all this. So, that's it. No rated round, no real form advice. Don't X-step on your forehands, I guess. I just wanted to show you something that's going on in my little disc golf life. And I normally throw like a PD pullover on this, but I think with my enhanced pop, Dr. Fire Chicken can get there. Left, right, no, right, left, right, left. I mean, that's there all day long. Something might be happening, guys. I think what's crazy is that I just feel like I'm looking at the basket and throwing to the basket. Novel concept. Thanks for watching.